But just be really wary. Be really, really wary of the advice that you give. Hey, welcome to the Gem Monroe Show. I am your host, Gem, the business alchemist. I'm here to teach you how to live the life of your dreams, how to create the business to support that life, and how to live in alignment, flow, happiness, joy, but also success, also the strategy, also the creative direction that you need in order to complete your business and your life. With my 16 years experience in the law of attraction, my 8 years owning my health and fitness business, 5 years as a yoga and meditation teacher, and my 18 years in sales, marketing, and business development, I am here to help you increase cash flow, execute your vision, live in that alignment and flow that we need, and give you your time back so that you can live the rich and enriched life of your dreams. So let's get into this episode. Good morning, good morning. So I was on the treadmill this morning and I was, I get these little inspirations to talk about stuff on my stories, especially like when I'm running. It just kind of opens up and it expands my creative brain or creative side of my brain, and it just, all the ideas and everything just kind of flow. And I was putting on my Instagram stories about running and about how, we tell ourselves these stories depending on, and this is where we become like super impressionable as well, and we try to fit in, or we hear other people say things and we start saying them ourselves and we believe them to be true, and we tell ourselves that story because we've heard it, or we believe that that's the right way to go, or that's the right thing to do, or to fit in we have to have that belief system, that kind of thing, right? So remember last week's episode about being your authentic self, this kind of it pertains to that a little bit. So we are impressionable. I've told you guys before how if you haven't watched Schitt's Creek yet, you need to, but when I get into that, I start acting like David off Schitt's Creek and Dan Levy. And it's so funny because, I'll use like hand gestures and stuff like him, and even Alexis Rose as well. So, but it's just because we're super impressionable. It's our mirror neurons in the brain. We're mirroring things that we like or things that we believe to be true that we see in our external environment. So anyway, I was explaining on my stories about how when I was bodybuilding, I used to, you've probably heard this too, and you've probably seen the meme that says, cardio, what's that? Or cardio, what's that? I just lift weights faster, or something like that. In the bodybuilding industry, it's a common theme to say and to believe that we hate cardio because we're all about the weights. We're all, a bunch of meatheads, and we're all just about lifting. And it's just a story that we tell ourselves because in the community of bodybuilding, it seems to be just a common theme. Now, I'm not saying everybody feels this way in bodybuilding. Absolutely not. I'm just saying it's a common theme in the industry that we all hate cardio. We don't do it for fun. We only do it to shred. We only do it to cut weight, right? So, of course, I would tell myself that I hated running. I don't do cardio. Oh God, yeah, I had to run because I'm all like into bodybuilding, and I have to run to cut weight, and oh God, like I look at myself back there and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like just so terrible. But anyway, this is going back about 6 years ago, by the way. And so my perception was, and my story that I was telling myself was, I hate cardio, I hate running, I hate running. Now, if you keep telling yourself that, if you keep hearing it in your external environment, and then you keep telling yourself that, well, what is your reality going to be? Your reality is going to be that you hate it, right? You hate running. And the thing is, with that whole story and being impressionable in the stories that we tell ourselves, through that, my brain started to go into, how I hit my rock bottom, how through all of the bodybuilding side of, my history, that era of my life led to my rock bottom. It led to my panic attacks and extreme anxiety, and like literally almost died, but didn't. It's very uncommon to die from panic attacks, but it led me again then to think about, if people watch my stories about bodybuilding and see, the physique that I got myself to, and then asked me, don't ask me how my brain works. It just goes off on tangents. Okay. It just goes, blah, 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 blah. And then so I started to imagine if someone reached out to me now and said, hey, can you help me for a bodybuilding competition? Because I did have a friend the other day asking me about it. And I was thinking, I will never, ever, ever train anybody to do bodybuilding. So just FYI, don't ask me to train you or get you ready for a competition. I will never, ever, ever do it. Okay, I will never, ever, ever train anyone for a bodybuilding competition again, because I don't believe it is a healthy, sustainable lifestyle, and I'd really want to dig into the reasons why you want to even do it. Sometimes it comes from a place of a lack of self-worth and self-love, and we're seeking approval and validation that we to ourselves and for ourselves and from other people, to prove something, it's this whole proving. When you have a high level of self-worth, you don't have to prove jack. Okay, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You just be. You just are. So, however, though, I don't want to ever deprive someone of their rock bottom, because, and this is the lesson here, guys, don't ever deprive someone of their rock bottom, because it's at the rock bottom that we then open our eyes. It's at rock bottom where we then become awake. If I had not gone through the panic attacks and the terrible, I've told you the story before, if I had not gone through all that, then, it led to my divorce. It led to a whole, but it led to just changed my life. I found spirituality. I had my spiritual awakening, which again, that really did lead to my divorce, because I was married to a very rational, logical, atheist engineer, and great guy. And very, very intelligent, very smart, really great guy, really fun guy. There was just that me going into spirituality and Ayurveda and Buddhism and everything like that I changed the dynamic of the marriage, right? And there are other things. Look, I'm not going to go into the reasons that we got divorced, but it was a part of it. We kind of went down different paths. Now, the rock bottom, I would not have stopped bodybuilding. I would have kept doing it. I would have kept ruining my body. I would have not healed internally, emotionally. I wouldn't have healed the self-worth and the self-love issues that were going on. Okay, if I had not hit my rock bottom, my life wouldn't have changed for the better. I wouldn't have become a 200-hour yoga instructor and meditation teacher. I wouldn't have served people in that way. I wouldn't be who I was today, right? And so I don't want you to deprive people of their rock bottom, unless, of course, it's going to lead to death or prison, right? Remember how I've told you that if it doesn't lead to death or prison, you're okay. So there are obviously intervention times where that needs to happen. There are definitely severe cases where you need to intervene, but just be really wary. Be really, really wary of the advice that you give, because it's usually in that rock bottom. We have to have that severe emotional response to something. And it's usually a negative response. Positive do not cause as much havoc in our nervous system as negative emotional responses. Negative emotional responses get stuck in our nervous system. They really jar it up, right? In our energy system. So I want you to remember that if you keep stopping someone from going down a path that you see is maybe going to lead to a divorce or bankruptcy or, something like that, right? Offer support and be there for that person. But I know it's actually love to let them hit the rock bottom, because it's only then will they actually change. It's only then will they make a life-changing decision. It's only then where they will actually become awake. We have to have that severity, that awful, negative, in the bone response, so that we never do that thing again, or so that we completely turn our lives around. How many times have you heard this? How many times have you heard people with these stories that they've hit bottom of the bottom, and they literally turn their lives around. Most millionaires will give you a story like that. Okay? Most. Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins, Gabrielle Bernstein. These are my two teachers, my two main teachers. You know, they all hit their rock bottom. You know, Tony Robbins, poor, no money. Gabrielle Bernstein, addict, and then, you know, hit rock bottom and became who she is today. You've got to let them, you have to let, you've got to go through that, because that's where we become teachers too. That's where we truly learn life lessons. We actually mature and we grow up when we hit these rock bottoms. So you got to let people do it. You got to let people do it for them. Let them hit it for them. You're doing it for them, for love. You love them. Let them hit rock bottom so that they can live awake. So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit from my running session this morning. Like I said, don't ever ask how my brain works. Seriously, my husband has stopped asking me, like, why did you come up, how did you come up with that? Or where did that go? And I went, well, so I was sitting on the couch and then I was looking at my fingernails and then I was thinking about cuticles and I was like wondering how cuticles kind of sounds like cubicle. And then so cubicle went into, you know, who invented the partitions in an office, like, you know, how you have your own little cubicle. And I wonder if that's all going to start to dissipate now and we're not going to be doing that because of COVID. And then, I literally just made that up right there on the spot. But that's how my brain works. So, join me on my ride. Anyway, I hope that you have taken a little bit from this. And I also, this is for the people who, you know, the people who want to help all the time. And we kind of step in and intervene too much in people's lives. And we want to help. You will help them by being support and being there with them in their bottom, okay? At their rock bottom. And also yourself. Don't be afraid and don't be scared of the rock bottom, okay? On the other side of that is just pure greatness. On the other side of it is it's the biggest lesson, okay? The biggest lesson. So it's painful. I know you will get through it. You'll have support, find support, ask for help, get through that rock bottom and journey on up and come and live awake with us. I love you so much. Thank you. You can visit me, www.iamjemmonroe.com. You can also visit my company, www.boutiquebizco.com, and follow me on Instagram at gem_Monroe. You can also email me gem@boutiquebizco.com and ask me anything. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.